Liz awkwardly clears her throat, hoping to break the silence. So, it's pretty warm today, she comments, fanning herself with her menu. Michelle nods in agreement, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. Yeah, it's ridiculously humid outside. I'm boiling in this heat. I'm so sad summer is almost over, Cara frowned. Pretty soon we'll have to go back to the reality of teaching again. I know, Michelle commented, taking a sip of water. I can't wait to see what Don has planned for this school year. Yeah, summer flew by so fast, Liz shook her head. Don's been giving me daily updates about how it's going with his training. He says he's hiring an interim assistant this year. Can't wait to see how that goes. Tanya shakes her head. All we can hope is that he doesn't pull anything sneaky. Nicole nodded in agreement. I hope you guys can sail into the school year smoothly. I've got a ton of clients lined up for next week. A majority of them are kids getting haircuts and pedicures, she smiles. Sounds like everyone's going to be super busy once August starts, Christina comments, finally speaking up. It's weird to think that school's starting back up soon. Feels like summertime just started. Cara nodded her head. Yeah, that's just how it goes. We're usually so busy and occupied enjoying our vacation that we forget we have jobs. Summer flew by in a blink of an eye. That's just how it goes, I guess, Tanya replied. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself, Liz added, a ting of nostalgia in her voice. Before we know it, fall is going to be here and we'll be complaining about the chilly weather. I don't think so, Michelle chuckled, waving a napkin. I'm so sick of this heat. Hopefully we can just enjoy the weekend without it being unbearably hot. True. I'm throwing one more party this summer and then it's back to reality. I don't want to say what it is just yet. I'm still getting the guest list in order, Cara nodded. I think most of us haven't been thinking about school or anything related to work. It's just nice to let loose and enjoy the summer vibes, you know? This summer has been very relaxing, Cara says, fluttering her eyes. And the sex with Gianni. Oh, don't even get me started. Oh, Cara, Michelle nudged her. Sorry, I won't go there. It's just been nice to spend as much time as I can with him until he goes to work, Cara smiled warmly. As the girls are talking, the waitress comes back with their food and drinks. She places each order in front of them, and Christina wastes no time chowing down onto her pizza. The other girls begin to eat and compliment the food. No, we understand, Nicole chuckled. It's been nice spending time with Tanya since she's had more free time. So, tell us all the gossip, Liz. What has Don been saying to you? He's hired the intern or what? Christina says with a mouthful of pizza in her mouth. Liz chuckles, shaking her head at Christina's question. Oh, you know, the usual. He's got this whole back-to-school plan now to keep organized. He says he's writing a mass email about all the important staff meetings and events we've got to reopen the school again. I really hope he's not renovating the office. That would be a disaster. He wouldn't be able to fulfill this summer. He said something else the other day about getting volunteers from the district to help in classrooms. Whatever that means. I hope he's planning on talking about this in the upcoming meetings. That's all I'm going to share. The back-to-school plan is this whole list about all the things he wants to accomplish this year, so I'll let him tell that story, Liz shakes her head. I just don't want some things to be left unsaid again, unlike last year. Cara nods, taking a sip of her drink. I get it. Communication can be so important for a successful school year, and for smooth working relationships. Let's hope Don understands that too. It can be easy to get sidetracked and not stay organized without having a plan in place. Liz nods, agreeing with Cara. Totally. But you know how Don is. He's always got so many ideas, and sometimes he gets a little too ahead of himself, trying to do too much at once. I appreciate his enthusiasm, but I hope he takes the time to prioritize and not spread himself too thin. Cara laughed softly, knowing all too well how Don can be. That's our Don for you. His enthusiasm is admirable, but you're right. He tends to bite off more than he can chew. I just hope he's not taking on more than he can handle this year. We all want the school to be successful, but we also want him to take care of himself and not burn out. He's also working on hiring new paraprofessionals and tutors at the school, Liz says as she continues eating. We could really use the help of the people who know what they're doing and not standing around and watching the special needs kids like a sporting event. Ms Paddock, for example, is one of the most useless paraprofessionals I've ever met. She's very smart and patient, I'll give her that. But her stubborn attitude, among other things, could use a little bit of work. Michelle shakes her head and sips her drink. So true. She does absolutely nothing in the classrooms. She's a waste of space and needs to retire as far as I'm concerned. Cara nodded her head in agreement. She's been at the school for over 20 years, according to Marnie. Yeah, it's time for her to retire. Liz sighs, nodding in agreement. Honestly, we've been saying that for years. It's clear that she's had her time, and we can use someone who is more willing to get involved and engage with the students. She just seems to sit there and zone out half the time. It's true, Tanya nodded. With the amount of work and lessons plans we have to follow ahead of time, the least she can do is keep things in track and help us out, instead of sitting there and wasting her life away. Yeah, so that'll be beneficial at least, Liz says, looking at a message on her phone. But moving on, I'll mention one more thing. Dawn's working on getting new tech for the students. That should be interesting. Although I'm not a teacher and I don't believe in using computers to teach, I still think it would be cool to try something new. Lots of other schools in the area are working to implement tech in their day-to-day schedule. Why shouldn't we? Cara nods in agreement, intrigued by the idea of including technology into the classroom. That's a really good point. Other schools have seen great success with using tech in their lesson plans, and it can definitely make learning more engaging and interactive for the students. I'm curious to see how Dawn plans on implementing it. The possibilities are endless. Very true, Michelle nodded. Sometimes the smartboard isn't enough for visual learning. Some kids are very hands-on, and some prefer pen and paper. Everyone has their different learning styles. I hope we get to hear more about this in a meeting. Cara chuckles. You know how Don is. He loves his meetings. We'll probably be sitting in one for a good hour or two hearing about his plans for the new year. I just hope he doesn't ramble on too much and actually gets to the point this year. The girls laugh at Cara's comment, knowing all too well about Don's tendency to ramble on in the meetings. Oh, definitely, Liz nods, chuckling. Don is notorious for getting off on tangents when he speaks. It's like he starts with one topic, and before you know it, he's gone off on 10 different tangents. As the girls finish up eating, Cara calls for the check, and she offers to pay for everyone like always. I got the check, girls, don't worry, she smiles, taking her credit card out. The other girls protest, insisting that they can chip in as well. Cara, you don't have to pay for everything, Michelle says with a smile. We can pitch in too. Michelle, seriously, I got it. My treat to all of you this weekend, she smiles. I don't mind paying. It's okay. All right, Michelle relented with a grin, raising her hands in defeat. You always insist on paying, you know? Liz chuckled. Cara, you're like the official sugar mama. Cara, you know you would be the perfect third partner in my polyamorous relationship. You and Rob can fight over paying, Christina chuckled. Cara hands the waitress the folder and sits back in her seat. Oh, Christina, she chuckled. You know I'm not into that open marriage shit. All the girls laugh at Christina's comment. Of course you'd say that, Liz snickered. Cara rolled her eyes playfully. Yeah, not happening in this lifetime. The waitress comes back a few minutes later with the receipt. Cara throws a 20 on the table and stands up. Come on, Cara. You know you would enjoy it deep down. Christina covers her mouth. There's no way you can convince me. Cara brushes her pants off. The 6 of them walk out of the restaurant and make their way down the boardwalk. All right, the time is now 6:30. Maybe we can do a bit of shopping if you girls are up for it, or we can head back to the rental to relax. We can always shop tomorrow, Cara suggested, turning to the group as she walked backwards for a moment. Shopping sounds fun, Michelle nodded. Tanya shrugged. I'm up for anything, really. Liz thought for a moment before speaking up. I'm kind of exhausted from the beach. Maybe we can save the shopping for tomorrow and just relax back at the rental tonight? I'm with Liz on that one, Christina agreed. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long morning with traveling and everything. Looks like it's settled then, Cara smiled. Let's head back to the rental and relax. The girls nodded in agreement and began walking back to the rental, chatting about plans for tomorrow. Once the girls return to the rental, they scatter around the interior, each doing their own thing. Cara heads into the kitchen to grab a bottle of water while Michelle and Liz settle down on the couch, searching for something to watch on TV. Meanwhile, Tanya and Christina head upstairs to their respective rooms to change into more comfortable clothes. Nicole chooses to stay downstairs, scrolling through her phone and responding to messages. Cara looks over at Michelle and Liz, who are arguing over what to watch. Oh, come on, that show is so boring, Michelle groans. Liz responds, I like it. Cara shakes her head with a smile, finding their banter amusing. Still can't agree on a show, huh? Nicole joins them on the couch with her phone in hand. Ooh, Young and the Restless, great show, she comments. Liz, turn this shit off, Michelle shakes her head. Liz playfully rolls her eyes. You just have horrible taste in TV, she retorts, sticking out her tongue. Michelle picks up the remote from the side table and changes the channel. Ha! What are you gonna do now? You two are bickering like toddlers. Give me the remote, Cara says, waving her hand. Hey! Both Michelle and Liz protest in unison, laughing. Michelle playfully smacks Cara's hand away. No way! You're no fun and always pick boring shows. Tanya comes back downstairs in gray sweats and a white tank top. Her curly brown hair is tossed into a loose claw clip and she's wearing white socks. She makes her way over to the fridge to grab a water and then joins the other girls on the couch. "What are we watching?" she says, enthusiastically. "Nothing now," Cara chuckled. "Michelle and Liz can't pick a show, so we're just going to scroll through channels." Nicole cuddles up next to Tanya, putting a pillow against her chest. "Yeah, let's pick something fun. Maybe a movie or something? I feel like we haven't watched a movie in a while altogether." "Great idea, Nicole," Cara says, glancing over at Liz and Michelle, who are crossing their arms. "What movie should we watch?" Cara says, placing her hand on her chin as she scrolled through channels. "I vote for a comedy," Liz pipes up, breaking the tension. Michelle nods in agreement. "Yeah, something light and funny would be great." Tanya leans in. "I'm down for a comedy. It's been a long week and I could use a good laugh." Cara smiles, scrolling through the movie options. "Alright, how about The Hangover? It's a classic." The other girls agree and Cara selects the movie, settling back on the couch. As the movie begins to play, everyone's eyes are glued to the screen. Nicole laughs uncontrollably at the ridiculous situations the characters get themselves into, while Liz and Michelle can't stop giggling too. Tanya leans her head on Nicole's shoulder, chuckling at the movie. "This movie never gets old," she says, grinning widely. As the movie continues, Cara grabs a blanket from the couch and spreads it over their laps, making them all cozy. She leans back on the couch, resting her head against the pillows. The girls continue watching the movie, sometimes pausing it to take a sip of water or catch their breaths from laughing so hard. "This is way better than arguing over what TV show to watch," Michelle grins, elbowing Liz playfully. Liz rolls her eyes playfully. "Yeah, you have to admit, this is fun," she giggles, taking a sip of her water. As the girls are watching the movie and laughing at some funny scenes, Christina is in her room, window open, and smoking a cigarette while she talks to Bill. She hears faint laughter and chatter coming from downstairs. The girls were probably having a blast without her, but she decided to just stay in her room for some peace and quiet. Meanwhile, Cara and the others continue watching the movie, laughing at the hilarious scenes. They share bags of chips and dip, and every now and then someone gets up to grab another snack or use the restroom. They make comments occasionally on the movie, and at times they all agree that the same scene is hilarious. After a while, the movie ends and everyone looks satisfied. "That was a great movie," Cara stretches, getting up to grab the remote. "Who wants to pick the next movie?" The girls start to discuss their options for the next movie. Nicole says, "I'm in the mood for something funny again. What about you guys?" Michelle nods. "Yeah, something light and easygoing would be nice." Liz taps her chin. "How about Bridesmaids? I could use a good laugh." Tanya shrugs. "I'm down for it." As the girls settle down to watch, they grab more snacks and make themselves comfortable. As the movie continues, the girls laugh uncontrollably at some of the ridiculous scenes. Nicole wipes a tear from her eye, holding her stomach as she giggles. "I forgot how funny this movie is," Tanya nods, chuckling. "It never fails to make me laugh." Cara smiles. "I love how ridiculous these characters are." Once the movie ends, the girls start to yawn and feel their eyelids heavy. Cara grabs the remote, turning off the TV. "Okay, I think it's about time we call it a night." The five of them head upstairs to their respective rooms. Tanya and Nicole make their way into their suite, and Nicole starts changing right away. Michelle and Cara head across the hall and come to a stop at Christina's door. They knock and call out to her. Christina is in bed, window is still open as she's dozing off. "Christina," Cara says, knocking gently on the door. "Are you awake?" Michelle knocks once. "Hey, it's us. We just wanted to check in on you and see if you were okay." There's a moment of silence before they hear a sleepy voice from inside the room. Yeah, I'm awake." The two girls look at each other, surprised that she's awake. Cara speaks again. "Can we come in for a minute?" "Yeah, what for?" Christina says, standing up to unlock the door. Cara pushes the door open slowly, finding a sleepy-eyed Christina standing there. "We just wanted to check in and see if you were okay. You've been pretty quiet since we got back." Christina twirls her hair. "I promise I'm fine, Cara. I just needed some peace to myself. I ate a lot of food and was feeling nauseous," she says. Cara nods understandingly. "All right, if you say so. We're heading to bed now, but if you need anything, just let us know." Michelle adds, "Yeah, we're here for you if you need anything." Christina nods. "Thanks, guys. Have a good night." The girls get ready for bed, getting into their pajamas and taking off their makeup. Michelle washes her face and brushes her hair, tying it up in a loose ponytail. Cara gets into her night clothes and washes her face, brushing her teeth before turning off the lights in her room. Tanya changes into her pajamas, a plain tank top and cotton shorts, and climbs into bed. Nicole gets into her pajamas, a t-shirt and a pair of sleep shorts, and lays in bed. Back in her room, Christina closes her window, turns off the lights, and lies down in bed. She closes her eyes, attempting to sleep, but finds herself unable to. Her mind races as she tosses and turns in bed. Throughout the night, Christina got up at every hour, trying to get comfortable. Christina wakes up early, feeling restless. She drags herself out of bed and heads straight to the bathroom to take a quick shower. Once she's done, she changes into some leggings, a sports bra, and a tank top. She slips on a pair of sneakers and grabs a hair tie, her phone, and earbuds before tiptoeing down the stairs, being careful not to wake the other girls. Once outside, she takes a deep breath of fresh air, puts her earbuds in, and begins her morning jog. The other girls start waking up on their own accord. Cara, Liz, and Michelle wake up around 9:30, while Tanya and Nicole sleep in a bit later, waking up at about 10:30. They groggily get out of bed, stretching and rubbing their eyes. As they freshen up, they make idle chit-chat. "Wow, Christina got up early this morning," Cara says, brushing her teeth. Michelle nods. "Yeah, that girl is dedicated to running. I could never be that disciplined," Liz yawns, tying her hair up in a ponytail. "I need my beauty sleep." Nicole nods in agreement. "Same here. I need my 8 hours minimum." Cara spits out her toothpaste. "Well, Christina's always been like that. She's made the gym her whole personality." The girls finish their morning routines, and Cara heads downstairs to the kitchen to make some pancakes for everyone. She has a selective spread of toppings such as whipped cream, chocolate syrup, and fresh fruit. She also makes breakfast sausages and hash browns on the side for whoever wants them. As Cara is prepping for breakfast, the girls are sitting at the counter checking their phones. Liz is feasting off the strawberries that Cara is cutting up, Michelle is reading on Facebook, and Tanya and Nicole are chatting about their plans for the day. Christina returns from her run around 10:45 a.m. She enters the house a bit sweaty and out of breath, but refreshed. "Hey, Christina," Cara says as she whisks pancake batter. "You were up early." Christina nods, catching her breath. "Hi, ladies! Yeah, I couldn't sleep, so I went for a run and a bit of a workout by the park." "You're crazy, girl," Liz grins, stuffing her face with strawberries. Michelle glances up from her phone. "How far did you run?" "I went all around the boardwalk, sightseeing as I was running, and then I ran onto the beach and got a little workout in by a park. It was so nice and refreshing," Christina smiled, taking a water from the fridge. "Wow, that's impressive," Cara says, pouring pancake batter onto the skillet. "You have so much energy." Michelle chuckles. "I could never run that long. You're a beast." "Seriously, I don't know how you do it," Nicole adds, scrolling on her phone. Tanya glances at Christina. "You must have gotten up really early to fit in all that running." Christina smiled widely as she grabbed a stool from the other side of the counter. "Yeah, I've had the same morning routine for the longest time. After I had Brandon, I knew my diet had to change. I gained some weight while I was pregnant, but I've always been a gym rat. I was into sports while I was in high school and once was a cheerleader. Gym has always been a part of my lifestyle. Bill and I renovated the basement into a home gym, and I've been programmed to wake up super early and go out for a morning run." The girls nod, understandingly. "That's a dedication," Cara says, flipping a pancake. "I don't think I could ever get up that early consistently." Michelle jokes. "I can barely drag myself out of bed at a decent hour, let alone at the crack of dawn." Nicole laughs. "Seriously, I need my beauty sleep." Tanya chimes in. "But it definitely pays off. You look great, girl." "Thanks, honeys," Christina smiled, touching her heart. "It took me a while to figure out a consistent workout schedule, but once I got into the routine, I knew I couldn't go back." "It shows," Cara says, nodding. "You're always so motivated and disciplined." Michelle chuckles. "Meanwhile, I'm over here struggling to keep my diet in check." Nicole grins. "Same. I can't resist junk food to save my life." Christina chuckles at the girls' comments, shaking her head. "You guys need some self-control," she teases. Liz nods. "Easier said than done." After the pancakes are cooked, Cara serves them up on individual plates, setting them out on the counter along with the spread of toppings. The girls help themselves to the food, piling whipped cream and syrup onto their pancakes and grabbing fruits and sausages on the side. As they dig into their breakfast, they chat and enjoy their food, catching up on each other's lives. The conversation is lighthearted and fun, occasionally interrupted by laughter or a teasing remark. "Alright, ladies, I think we'll have our breakfast, head to the boardwalk to do some shopping, grab some lunch, and then we can figure out things from there. I'm feeling spontaneous on our last day out here," Cara says, cutting her pancakes. The girls all nod in agreement. "Sounds good to me," Michelle says, pouring syrup on her pancakes. "I can definitely use some retail therapy," Liz grins. Tanya nods. "I'm down for some shopping, and I'm all for being spontaneous." Nicole, who's munching on a sausage, nods. "I'm good with whatever, just as long as there's food involved." "Sounds good, Cara. I'm excited for shopping on the boardwalk. I'll head into the shower after we finish eating and then I'll change real quick, Christina announces. Okay, perfect, Cara replies, taking a bite of her pancake. The girls continue to chat and enjoy their breakfast, discussing the different shops they want to visit on the boardwalk and the types of things they're looking to buy. Eventually, they all finish their food and clean up the kitchen. Once everything is tidied up, Christina heads upstairs to shower and get ready. After about 15 minutes, Christina comes downstairs dressed in a cute outfit, ready to go. Alright, should we head out? She asks, grabbing a small bag and her phone. The girls nod and start grabbing their things, getting ready to leave. The girls stroll down the boardwalk, the ocean breeze playing with their hair as seagulls cry overhead. Bright flags flutter in the wind and music drifts from nearby shops. They pass colorful storefronts, jewelry stands, surf shops, and boutiques full of summer dresses and sandals. Ooh, look at those earrings! Nicole points to a boho stall filled with dream catchers and beaded necklaces. Michelle picks up a pair of oversized sunglasses. These are so me. Tanya giggles. You've said that about every pair we've seen. Liz browses through a rack of vintage tees. I found one with our beach town on it. Perfect souvenir. Christina flips through some handmade bracelets. They're cute, but not as tough as my workout gear, she jokes. Cara smiles, watching her friends laugh and try things on. This is exactly how I wanted our last day to feel. Easy, fun, together. Wait, guys, stop, Michelle exclaims, stopping in her tracks. The group stops, turning to see what caught Michelle's attention. She grins, holding up a bright pink hoodie with Point Pleasant Beach written across the front in bold white lettering. Tanya laughs. You're kidding, right? That's the cheesiest thing ever. Michelle winks. Exactly why I need it. Cara chuckles. You definitely have a love-hate relationship with tacky stuff. They keep walking, now looking out for more soppy souvenirs. Soon enough, they have a collection of tacky hats, refrigerator magnets, keychains, and t-shirts. I think we went a little too far with the tackiness, Christina laughs. Liz shrugs. Hey, it's a part of the charm of a beach town, right? I mean, how could we all resist this stuff? They browse handmade jewelry and colorful beach towels, trying on silly sunglasses and oversized hats. They find an old-fashioned candy shop, and they each buy a giant lollipop. I feel like a kid again, Liz chuckles, sucking on her lollipop. Michelle nods in agreement. These things are still just as good as they were decades ago. Tanya grins. And probably 10 times as much sugar, but who cares? After a couple hours of shopping around at all the tourist kiosks, the girls decide they're going to grab dinner. The time was now 5:30 p.m., 2 more hours until sunset. Cara stopped in her tracks and parked her bags by a nearby bench. Tanya and Nicole take a seat, Liz is standing by Michelle next to the bench, and Christina was still trying on sunglasses near them. Cara pulled out her phone and looked on maps for a place they could get dinner from. How do we feel about seafood? I know that's not everyone's favorite, but I could totally go for some shrimp tails and cocktail sauce, Cara says, asking the girls. The girls consider the options, some nodding in agreement. My mouth is practically watering just thinking about it, Liz smiles. Tanya chimes in. Seafood sounds great. Plus, we gotta get the full beach town experience, right? Michelle agrees. I could go for some shrimp, and some good old cocktail sauce is never a bad idea. Christina, Cara called out, her hand around her mouth. How do you feel about seafood? Sounds good, Cara, Christina called back. She picked up her bags and came over to the group. All right, let's get going. It's about a 10-minute walk from there. I'm sure that's nothing compared to your daily workout, Cara chuckled. Cara picked up her bags, and the girls followed her down the boardwalk path as she led the way. Tanya and Nicole are walking next to Cara, Michelle and Liz are behind them smoking, and Christina is trailing behind, her eyes still stuck on the shops. As the group walks, Tanya nudges Cara playfully. You better not be leading us to some sketchy seafood shack. Cara laughs, flipping her hair. Relax! It's a local favorite and it has 5-star reviews. You'll thank me later when you taste their garlic butter shrimp. Nicole sniffs the air dramatically. I already smell the deliciousness. Or is that just Michelle's cigarette? Michelle flicks her wrist, mock offended. Excuse you, it's called ambiance. Liz chuckles beside her, blowing out a soft seam of smoke. Behind them, Christina lingers again near a shell shop window. Hand-painted clam art glimmers under the afternoon sun. Christina! Cara yells over her shoulder without stopping. If you buy one more keychain, I'm leaving without you. Christina grins and finally jogs to catch up as the golden light begins to wash over the boardwalk. You know, afterwards we should go to the tiki bar for drinks, Christina suggested. Anytime I have a chance to go to the shore, I always stop at Martini's Tiki Bar. It's a tradition, she smirked. That's not a bad idea, Cara nodded. We can sit at the bar, enjoy the sunset, and maybe check out the beach one last time before we leave tomorrow. I love that idea, Liz grinned. Nothing like a good tiki bar right by the water, Tanya agreed. Yeah, and we can get fruity cocktails with little umbrellas in them, Michelle chuckled. And, of course, there will be a million tourists snapping bikini pics in front of the sunset. Well, that just comes with visiting beach towns. I mean, when we took a family vacation to Newport, we spent the whole day on the beach. Tourists everywhere. I swear, they can't resist cute little sunset beach pictures and buying all kinds of tacky Newport souvenirs, Christina said. Nicole groaned. Ugh, don't remind me. I can still see the lighthouse-shaped magnets plastered on Grandma's fridge. Liz laughed. And don't forget all the seashell art and driftwood signs. That's ironic, Cara chuckled, covering her mouth. You and Michelle basically bought everything that said Point Pleasant on it. Hey, we can't help it if we want tacky souvenirs, Michelle protested playfully. Nicole smirked. Oh, please. You two spend more time in the gift shops than in the ocean.